Hey everybody, it's Joel Toppin here, and I've got a package from GMT, and there was a couple games in there. There was Wing Leader, Supremacy, which I've been anxiously anticipating, and there was also Commands and Colors Napoleonics Epic, which got delayed a little bit, and so I was kind of surprised to see that one in the box. We'll do another video on that in just a minute. So let's go over here, take a look inside Wing Leader. First of all, this is one of those heavy-duty GMT bulletproof. I mean, this is a great box here. This is one of the heavy-duty boxes, and it's a larger box than the original issue of volume, I should say, of Wing Leader. That was in a like a 1-inch box and had a paper map and your white core thinner counters. So I'm curious to see what's in this guy. So, and by the way, check this website out. This there's a slip in here reminding you to go to Lee Birmingham Wood's website. There's some really good stuff on this website, not just for this game, but for his other designs too. So, packing slips and whatnot. Okay, rulebook 2.0 is a glossy rulebook, much like I believe the first volume was a glossy rulebook, and I don't think there's a whole lot different in here. There's, from what I understand in reading, I think there's only a few changes in here from the original. So, if you knew how to play the first volume, you can pretty much jump right into this. So, in fact, I've been using the 2.0 rules for Volume 1. Anyways, here's some new charts. And I think the charts have been slightly modified as well, but I'm not 100% certain of that. So you got a couple of these. There's two duplicates that have the air defense or air table on one side, and these are the ones that each player should have one of. And then there's one that has a sequence of play, and then the flak and bombing stuff on the other side, because really only one player is going to need that sort of thing. So wing display. There's a couple of these in here. Now this is something new. Battle display. Able, Baker, Charlie. One-sided. Really not sure what that's about. That must be something new. Okay, sheet number 1 of the cards. I love the artwork. You know, I've heard some people say that the artwork was just really plain. The map is plain. Well, the map is sky. What do you want? The cards and the counters is where the artwork is just absolutely fantastic. I remember as a kid looking at, books and stuff that had these kind of side-on drawings of different airplanes, and this is just really reminiscent of stuff like that. I would sit in the car while we were on road trips and page through airplane pictures, and yeah, so this is neat stuff here. So you got 2 sheets of these. They are one-sided. On the back is variant information and just a brief synopsis of the aircraft design. And you see here we got P-40s, P-39s, all kinds of stuff. Seems like there's more airplanes in this than in Volume 1. And here's some more. Wow, that one's kind of new. That's neat. Some of the aircraft I'm seeing here are of the, they're not the mainstream, and that's kind of cool. So the MC-205 for Italy, Seafires, Tempests, Beaufighters, Typhoons. All right, whole bunch of Luftwaffe stuff here. Finally, we get the Focke-Wulf 190. Which we did not have we had a bunch of 109s. I think it went up, the E model and the F model, I think is what we had in Volume 1. And I think these are some new 110s, 410s. Yeah. You don't need more than one card per aircraft type, and usually one card can incorporate several, variants and modifiers. Got a new nationality here, Romania. Couple different yaks. Finally, some decent Soviet fighters. What else we have there? Is that the? Yeah, that is a 262. Okay, cool. There we go. First jet. And here comes the Japanese. So there was some new Soviet things on there. Here's the Japanese. The Jill, Judy, Oscar, Zeke. These are later model Oscars and Zekes. There was, I think, some Oscars in the first edition Tonys. Wow. Cool, cool, cool. These are the late model, mid and late model aircraft. Alright, now the counters are white core. I'm glad they did that because I hate it when you have like one set of counters that are white core and one set that are brown core. It just messes with my OCD. And these are perfectly serviceable. In fact, you know, this is perfectly acceptable. I really like that this is going to mesh with the first edition well. So here we go. We got a sheet 1 of 4. And the counters appear to be centered just fine. So sheet number 2. And again, this is where the artwork just really pops on the map. The map's supposed to be plain so that the clouds pop and the aircraft pop out at you and the little surface things pop and the barrage markers just look awesome on it. So, that's cool. So there you go. All kinds of new stuff here. Now the markers, it's kind of interesting. The colors of the IDs and the tally, these were kind of this color in the first volume, and these were kind of close to this color. So there was like a pastel blue and a pastel yellow orange, if you will. So I like that the second volume has a different color set. So this can kind of mesh. And I like that there's a turn marker. There really wasn't one in the first one. And there's a few scenarios where you do need to keep track of what turn it is for things that happen. So that's kind of nice. So there you go. There are the counter sheets. 4 of those. Baggies and dice. Scenario book. There's a lot of scenarios in these volumes. And the first ones are usually... Well, with volume 1, the first ones were kind of plain and not terribly interesting, but you learn the mechanics from them. It's really the middle of the rule book where you start picking up like the bombing rules, and then the scenarios get a lot more interesting, and there's more variation in it. And I've only worked through half of the scenarios in the first one, and there's some really good ones in there. Some of them felt really out of balance. What we found to do with that was you can play through a scenario, flip sides, play through it again, and then total up your scores. That I think is a really good way to handle some of these scenarios in here, because most of these are going to play pretty quick. I don't see many of these scenarios lasting more than 2 hours. An hour is pretty average for the length of playing some of these. So it's a pretty quick playing game, and it gives you a really interesting perspective on aerial combat in World War II. It's very educational. And then here's the map. I'm not going to unfold it because pretty much what you see on one panel is what you're going to get on the whole thing. It's just sky, and it's supposed to be just sky because it's a side-on view of the world, if you will. The numbers are altitudes, and the columns here are just, you know, spatial measurements. So there you go. The bottom of it, flipped around here, the bottom of it, you can see like the land is down there. So again, it's a side-on view of aerial combat, and it really teaches the importance of altitude in an intercept situation in aerial combat. So that's Wing Leader Supremacy. And for those of you that, let me just pull it out here. I have it in the, you've probably been seeing in the background, I got some C3I stuff here. And I'm just going to show you really quick. I did already punched out the stuff for the South Pacific from C3I. But C3I issue number 30 does have some new aircraft counters here for Wing Leader Supremacy. And there's also a scenario card with 2 scenarios, front and back. And again, if you go to Lee Brimacombe Wood's website, you can access the link again from this piece of paper here. See if pull it out here. Knocking everything over. All right, here's that. There we go. So there's the website. Check that out. There are, I believe, there's a supplement for volume number 1, and then there's a supplement for this volume with probably three to five scenarios in it. I don't remember exactly, that you can print out. And I haven't played any of them yet, but they look really interesting. So in addition to what you see here, there's some freebies on his website, so definitely check that out. Joel Toppin, this is Wing Leader Supremacy, and that's what comes inside the box.